Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Tyler, you're sitting around, you're killing these people off, and it's nothing but dead weight. That's all they order, dead weight. But you darn well better leave them dead. This better not turn into no episode of The Walking Dead. Those that you kill, leave them dead. Do you understand? Now let's move on. And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I'm going up on my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, Cookie? Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for If Loving You Is Wrong. This is season 3, episode 16. As I said, those who die need to stay dead. I'm not trying to watch no zombie movie. You kill them, bury them, done. Anyway, we'll get to it. Okay, going forward. Alex and Brad are actually going back and forth. Now, you know he already told this whore, if you lie to me again, I'm up out of here. Flat out. I ain't going to ask you no questions. I'm not going to go round and round with you. I'm not going to play no games with you. I'm out. So she couldn't even bring herself to tell a lie about who was on the phone. It was the doctor, and it was Marcy. Something's wrong with her, and she asked for you. So it took everything in her because she's just a natural born liar. So took everything in her to actually come on out with that. But she came on out with it. Then she got to this thing of, are you getting ready to go to her? What do you think, stupid? So she was on her way. He was on his way, rather. And she's steadily trying to get, well, I'll go with you. But you ain't coming with me to see my woman. Is you crazy? So he went through all that. Baby, she slid around there and got her a babysitter and went to go head on out, but got batter-rammed at the door by Randall. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Anyway, so he goes on down. Brad goes on down to the hospital. Then I'm like, okay, what's up, Marcy? Marcy's down there at the hospital. Brad gets there, is figuring out what's going on and all of this. He gets her calmed down. Her phone rings. It's Ian. She's supposed to be getting some paperwork to him. She actually had Brad answer the phone. I said, oh, here we go with a love triangle, honey. That ain't supposed to be going on. And they have the little thing back and forth. And then she finally gets on and she's like, okay, well, come on. So I said, wait a minute. So now she got Ian on the way to the hospital and you already at the hospital with Brad. And you could already tell Brad was jealous and didn't want Ian to come. I said, y'all was confused. All of you all are confused. And everybody's naughty parts are all engorged and tingly except for Ian because he ain't got none yet. So his little issue about jumping up running, I understand. But Brad, what you going to do? What are you going to do? And little do you know, Alex is supposed to be on her way. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so before Randall stopped Alex at the door earlier on, Randall had actually talked to Ian. And I'm actually out of order here. This is before Ian actually talked to Marcy too. Randall and Ian had an exchange back and forth. It was a whole, well, where's Larry? I need Larry, blah, 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 blah. He tells me, we haven't seen Larry, this, that, and the other. And Randall said, you know what? Eddie might have him. And that is dangerous because he's dangerous. So he's like, okay, well, I'll see about that. Ian called Lucian. Bam. No problem. Randall also asked Ian, do you like Marcy? Is that what's going on? Do you have a problem? What you trying to do? What you trying to do, pal? So he deflected. He did tell him that Marcy was cute. I said, well, you bought yourself some problems. But anyway, nothing going on really. Ian called Lucian. Lucian is like, what's up? He's like, you need to find Larry. We can't find him. I don't know where he is. We haven't heard from him. Now, he does dip off sometimes because he be with other men and other women as well. They said, well, what about the wife? Well, she be down with it. She knows what he does, so she wouldn't be alarmed. But this don't feel right. Lucian's like, no problem. He said, I'll do that, but you got to get me another lawyer for Kelly. It's like, all right, well, whatever. Because Kelly has completely fired her lawyer. She fired his ass, told him to beat it. She don't want to hear nothing about what you talking about taking no deal. He told her, here's this video from when she threatened Randall. They got it off the camera. Convenient. Some of that Tyler Perry mess. I said, okay. So that's that. All that goes on. Lucian then ends up calling Eddie, gets Eddie on the phone, and Eddie's like talking to him, yeah, Lulu, what's up, blah, 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 blah. He's like, why are you in the middle of nowhere standing beside a box truck? I said, you know what? He said, listen, let me tell you something. If you have Larry, which I know you do, you better get him home, and you better get him home now. Said, this ain't no joke. We're not playing no games. This is all about some FBI stuff. You better get him back. It's a federal offense. Kidnapping is a federal offense. He gonna say, okay, so he knew that it meant business. The fact that he had actually went into the FBI situation to actually pinpoint him and locate him like that, Eddie knows. It's like, okay, this is bullshit. Told him, get him home, and I mean get him home now. So he hangs up with Lucian. He's like, all right, you're so lucky, Larry. You get ready to go home. So he pisses on Larry because he's over there knocked out unconscious still, ready to did him up with that bag. He goes over there and pisses on him to wake him up. He's trying to wake him up. Larry ain't waking up. Dead as hell. He fell for his pulse. You all say he fell for his pulse and all. He's totally dead. And I mean, Tyler Perry, he better stay dead. Do you understand me? Because this is going to get interesting. He better stay dead. Anyway, so Larry's dead. So that's that. Okay, so the last thing that actually ended up happening was Randall and Alex going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The reason that he got her at the door like that is because he was over at his house and actually got a little ding in his computer. And he's like, what in the heck? He didn't think that the camera was still working. And when he did that, he actually ended up seeing all of the stuff. Remember, there was the conversation that got recorded by the camera between Alex and Brad talking about the baby and the DNA switch and all of that. So he goes over there where Daddy told her, you're a dirty bitch. And how could you do this to me for these few days? This, that, and the other, and on and on and on and on. And they just went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. He's like, I'm going to get you, bitch. I'm going to get you. And you going to tell me who did it? She's like, no, I can't tell you this, that, thing, and the other. It was really drawn out, really long, got on my nerves. But all in all, she ended up following him back to the shed. He's telling her, get out of my yard. They're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. She's like, I can't tell you who did it, who did the swap, this, that, and the other. I can't say who switched DNA, and all that. And she's like, you tricked me. You knew what I liked. You knew what I wanted. And he's like, I do know what you want. And I do know what you like. And this, that, and the other. Oh, long story short, she ends up telling him, I know you still want me. And they get to going back and forth looking stupid. And then he tells her, take your clothes off. Take them all off. And it's about, you can have me now. He's going to say, how? She said, however you want. I said, as long as you don't take my baby away. We're just right next door. You got a baby of your own coming. I said, So when we shut out from this, that whore was taking her clothes off. I said, guess what? I hope Brad kills you both. I really do. I hope Brad just kills them both. Like, they are just ridiculous. But anyway, that's where it actually stopped at. So we'll see. I'll catch y'all next week.